System monitoring. Now we are getting deep into the system administration type of commands or the roles that you will be working on. If you really want to get a job in system administration or systems engineering or Linux related field, you do need to know all those system monitoring commands. Some of them are top, df, dmessage, iostat, netstat, free, and CPU info and memory information. All these commands will list all the system resources and will tell you how the systems is doing, how is it behaving, whether it's running high or low. So let's look at them one by one by logging into our Linux machine, log into our VM console. All right, the top command you could run without being root. So if you notice in the top command, once again, it has CPU information, memory information. It tells you which process it's on, which user it's running, and what command it's running. This is again one very powerful command, and you should really spend some time to look into every field. And I will highly recommend you to go look for the documentation or Google it and find out more information about it. If you want to get out of it, hit Q. The next one we have DF. DF gives you your disk partition information. You could run DF minus man space DF. It tells you to report file system disk usage. We'll run DF again, and it tells you the file system is mapped right here. It has this block, this is available, what percent is used. Now the most common options that is used with DF is minus H. H is easier, it's human readable, it's easy to understand. So now it tells you we have a disk size at the root level, which is 8 gig. And 3.4 gig is used, and 4.6 is available and uses 43%. It also gives you in percentage, and so on is the memory, which is about 2 gig. And then we have a boot file system, which when the system boots, everything is located in what to boot, which files to boot. It has 1 gig, and so 1 gig here, 8 gig here, so 9 gig, and this free memory, which is the swap or virtual memory, is about 1 gig. That makes it 10 gig. And if you remember, we created our virtual machine with 10 gig, and that's what it's telling you, the partition information. If your system is dead or crashed, one of the things you should look into it is df minus h output. Once again, df minus h. And if the usage right here says 100% or any of the usage says 100%, then definitely you are in trouble and you need to free up your disk space, and you need to find out how to free up your disk space. You need another command that is du. You could do man on du and learn more about it. It tells you the estimated file space usage, which file is taking up all the space. Next command we have dmessage. Dmessage gives you the output of the system related warnings, error messages, failures, or anything like that. When you run it, of course, it throws a bunch of error messages, a bunch of information at you. And if you want to view that one page at a time, what do? You pipe it to more. When you pipe it to more, you will see it gives you the BIOS information, when the system initialized, how it went to what CPU. If there is any issues with the memory, it will report you right here. If there's a memory leak, if there's an issue with CPU that's crashed, motherboard issue, anything related to your system hardware will be listed here. And this is again one of the good things that you should look at. If you are in system administration, if you are going for an interview, the interviewer is going to ask you, give me the commands that you use to monitor your system. These are the commands. You should list them right away, and I'm telling you, he or she will be impressed right away that you know your commands, you know your system administration skills. The next command we will learn is IOStat. Stands for input and output statistics. What's coming in, what's going out, how we are communicating with our system peripheral devices or system internal devices, even if it's a disk or network. When you run it, it's going to give you the information right away that the disk is being used with the read per second, write per second, and a lot of different information. You could also run IOStat with space 1, which is telling it to refresh. Keep running it, but refresh it every 1 second. So it will refresh it, it'll keep telling you, keep updating you the read and write. If it is doing any read and write, it will update it as it goes. You could quit out of it by simply typing, I think you have to do Control C to quit out of it. The next one we have netstat. Netstat -RNV is the option that I mostly use if I wanted to find out my gateway information, if I wanted to find out my subnet mask and what interface it is going through. This is the command I will use. There's other options that you could use with netstat, just netstat, and if you pipe it and you do more, you're going to see a lot of information. What is connected to your system, what has been disconnected, what's the process ID, which process is it running, and the name of the owner of the process. So it does give you all the information. Once again, I apologize, I cannot cover every single detail. If I cover it, it's going to take me hours and days to cover every single command. So I will my recommendation is to you is just to simply man netstat, and you look into the description of this command and the option of this command. Now please do remember, I've been doing Linux for a very long time, and trust me, I myself don't know every single options that a command has to offer. If I wanted to find out, or if I wanted to look for a specific output, then yes, then I will look into the options that is available. But it's completely understandable that not every person needs to remember every command or every option associated with every command. The next command we have free. Free gives you your physical memory and your swap space, which is a virtual memory. Utilization, just usage, and free. The next one we have is cat. Cat is to read the file of CPU info. Every time your computer is started, it keeps all its system resources information into files, and those files are located in proc. This proc is the directory where it keeps its all system information. So you could just do simply cat proc info, CPU info. You will find your CPU information right here. If you want to know your memory information, you could do proc system memory info. Of course, it's throwing all that messages, all that screen, multiple at one shot. So you could just do simply pipe it and more it, and you will view it one page at a time. So these are system monitoring commands. You do need to remember these specific commands on top of your head if you are going for an interview, if you're going for a technical interview, or even if you are a new to Linux environment and you want to learn more commands by monitoring the system resources. You should look into these commands.